Hello, welcome to Miniature Realms. My name is Stuart. Let's take a look at a load of new Blood Bowl. Miniature Realms is proudly sponsored by Counter Attack Bases. They stock a wide range of counters, gaming aids and movement trays for multiple game systems and offer custom items to suit your club or even your podcast or YouTube channel. Make sure you check out their old world compatible range. It's expanding all the time. New ranges are being added soon. Look at these fantastic generals tokens to help those of you who are forgetful remember in-game effects and spells and things like that. And look at these old world legacy army token sets as well. Again, more of these are being added all the time and very nice they are. Check out the link in the video description. So thank you very much, Games Workshop, for sending out this lovely stack of really fun Blood Bowl goodies. I'm really looking forward to going through them in this video. They arrived in a box with some other stuff, some Warhammer the Old World stuff, and it always seems to be the case at the moment that the games I like to cover on the channel seem to come at the same time and have matching release dates. It was with the previous lot as well, Warhammer the Old World stuff, and I have Middle-earth stuff at the same time, and this time I have a new Chaos Dragon and Arcane Journal, which I've already covered on the channel, so look out for those videos if you haven't already seen them at the same time as this Blood Bowl stuff, and that's why this Blood Bowl video is out a couple of days after the pre-order day. What I'm going to do is treat it a little bit like a game unboxing. We'll have a quick look at the miniatures on their frames. We're going to look at the pitch, the Sevens pitch, which is really fun, and then spend a little bit more time looking at the Spike magazine and those rules for playing Blood Bowl Sevens. So let's get started. We'll have a brief look at the Sevens pitch. We've got Spike magazine issue 22, and then we've got the Rat Ogre, the Minotaur and Morgenthau miniatures. So let's get these open and have a quick look at the frames inside. I love this little touch there, the little ball that appears as you open up the tab on the box. Little extras like that always make me smile. All the instructions are full colour, and you have different building options on all three of these miniatures, so they can represent different types and different teams. So the Minotaur can be for the Chaos Dwarf team or for Chaos teams. Not a huge amount on the frame at all, but it does its job, and it's really easy to find your parts. Same thing with the Rat Ogre as well. There's a couple of different heads, I think 3. There's 2 different tails and a couple of different options with shoulder pads and things as well. Again, all full colour instructions and really easy to follow. And again, I really love modern day Games Workshop miniatures. Sometimes they're a bit of a pain to put together, but they're engineered so well, and these are just really nicely done. Nothing I didn't like at all. Morgenthau has 3 different build options as well. You've got your standard Imperial version, and you've got your Chaos versions, and you've got your Badlands versions as well. You can also do a bit of a mix between all of them if you wanted to. Again, really simple instructions that show you which builds, which bits are for all of the miniatures and which bits are for the different styles, depending on which team you want him to play with him. Again, the frame, really easy to find all the parts. There's not an awful lot on there, just all you need with those few little extras for the alternative. And I didn't have any issues putting any of these miniatures together, really. In fact, I can't think of one single issue. I think I made each of them in about 15 minutes, which is crazy with modern day Games Workshop miniatures, and they're designed in the same way that a lot of the other model miniatures that I have at the moment are. And sometimes they take a little bit longer, so there's very little in terms of mold lines to remove at all. Really nice. That saves an awful lot of time, and as you can see in the instructions there, choosing which option that I wanted to build, and it was so easy just to complete them. I really like the Minotaur version. I went for the standard version because I think I really want to paint that. I only didn't know. I don't have either of those teams. Morgenthau, I've gone for the classic as well. I had the classic back and metal many moons ago, and I decided I wanted the same. One little minor error in the printing there. It shows the arm attached before it actually is. Doesn't affect the build at all. It'd be pretty disingenuous to pretend that little print error in order there would affect the quality of it. So I built these all in about 45 minutes, no problems, really quick. Now we have the 7th pitch in a nice little pack there. You've got your dugouts as well. It's double-sided. You've got the grass pitch and you have an Astro Granite pitch, which was the name they gave to the original polystyrene version
that I had. That was my first edition that I had of the game. That lovely polystyrene stonework. It was Astro Granite back then. I love the little play on the name. So the dugouts are nice and small, a little bit smaller than the standard ones. I quite like that. Obviously no need to be as big as the other ones. I quite like the compact nature of them. Thick enough card as well. And then the board is obviously that bit smaller. This will easily fit on a coffee table or something. Blood Bowl tended to fit on a coffee table anyway, but this is even smaller. Maybe it's a travel size version of the game. The grass pitch is very standard grass pitch or styling. I haven't matched up against the board that comes in the box to see if it's the same artwork or not. And this is your Astro Granite on the other side, and I think really enjoy the artwork for both sides really. It's nice to mix it up a little bit and play on different pitches regardless of what teams you have, and I think they've done a good job of it here. I really like this. I quite like neat small things, and I know that when I show this to my wife, who occasionally plays Blood Bowl, and my son, that they're going to think, yo, that's cool, we need to play that, because sevens is fun, sevens is easy, and I think it might well start something in the house just because there's a few less miniatures needed. So happy with the pitch. I'd recommend picking these up if you're looking to play sevens, even if you don't pick up all of the rest of the stuff. I think they're pretty cool. So Spike Magazine issue 22 is where it's at for all of your rules to play sevens. It's the standard game of Blood Bowl, of course, but there's some slight changes which you don't have to use. You can just play 7 aside if you wanted to, but this helps. It's 32 pages, I think, not including the cover, and it starts off with your usual kind of almost like an editorial. It's printed like a sports magazine. That's the vibe, that's the feel. And if you've never seen one of these before, there's obviously 21 of these before that. Loads of fun stuff in there, carrying on from the vibe of the original books. There's a little update in the lore. I think it's a bit of a lore change for sevens, and sevens now are less of a kind of a minor teams thing and more of an off-season thing, like a spring thing. As a huge cricket fan, which doesn't relate to American football at all, but as a huge cricket fan, I think it's like T20 rather than a 50 over or a test match game, and so it feels like that kind of vibe to it rather than just this kind of lower tier stuff now. I think that's what they're trying to get across with the lore. After that, we have a whole host of rules, and I'm not going to read the rules to you. There's going to be some more detailed reviews out there, and also you want to pick this up and read it yourself. But there's a little section here describing the pitch and the layout, because it's slightly different because it's smaller, and the way that you set up the game. There's very minor changes, but because of that, there is the line of scrimmage is back here rather than being down the centre of the board. That's probably the most standout one for me. After that, you got a section on how to draft your team, so there's some minor changes to the rules. You get 600,000 gold pieces rather than the million to spend on your team. There's some other restrictions as well. I think only 4 players in your squad that aren't linemen. You're only allowed 4 players that aren't linemen, and a few other little things like that as well. Different prices for your cheerleaders and your assistant coaches and things to reflect the smaller amounts of the game, which makes it all work a little bit better. There's a slightly adjusted or changed kickoff table to work with the smaller teams and the smaller size board, and I think that was needed. So all of these are kind of quality of life, playing the smaller game versions of it, and the same with most of these tables and things as well. They do that. They just kind of affect it for the smaller game. And there's rules for league play and a list of inducements. There's a desperate measures table there that's newly done for sevens as well, with lots of fun different things on there. But lots of things to make it work better as a smaller game, essentially. I mean, the game's only 6 turns when you play sevens. Obviously, we know we've got the smaller pitch. The scatter from the side is reduced. It's D6 plus 2. There's lots of little things like that make the game a little bit different. But there's just so many little things just to give it more flavour and work better at this smaller version, and player advancement, rest and relaxation. Lots and lots in a very few pages. I'm quite impressed by how much is in here. There's even a section here on match play, just suggesting a few little adjustments that you may want to make. Then after those rules, which as I said are pretty minor, a few things that really kind of stand out. You've got these nice pictures of games going on. I love the artwork they do. Loads of Warhammer the Old World artwork in the background of those pictures. Always makes me chuckle, but it looks so good. And then you get these fake adverts, which are just hilarious, and then all the humour you'd expect that we've seen right from that first edition that I got with the polystyrene pitch. There's loads of the commentators type chat and little articles and things in there that make it really fun. And then you got this 7 special, and there's basically basically some example sevens rosters or teams that have been put in there. I think there's people from outside of the studio that have written for these articles, so I think they're good fun, give you a good idea what kind of things you might want to choose, and I got a bit of an explanation around it. So if you don't know where to start with your sevens teams, if you play one of the teams with the examples, then you've got a really good thing to work from. And then the final pages again are more fun and fluffy lore stuff really, and another fake advert which is good fun, and that's it really. What a beautiful looking little book. I think this was a really good fun little set of releases really. The sevens pitch and the sevens rules there are really accessible, easy to get hold of, and they look pretty good. They look like sensible little changes. Now I don't play Blood Bowl half as much as I would like to, and I do very casually at home, and this kind of format, to be fair, makes it much more likely that I will play games, because 7 miniatures are a little bit easier. It's a bit smaller board, it's a little bit of a quicker game, which is easier to get my wife interested, to get my kids interested when we have our games nights on a Saturday night, and I think that's what I'll be doing. Very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you very much to Games Workshop for sending over all of those Blood Bowl goodies early. Let me know if you have a preference of which of those 3 miniatures I shall try and squeeze into a painting video. That's what I really love to do. It's all about time, and it's always about time doing YouTube like this. I absolutely love making videos, reviewing stuff and painting stuff and doing hobby, and trying to balance all of those things, and the painting side of it is definitely something that takes a lot longer. So I really have to plan it in. So let me know in the comments below which of those miniatures you'd prefer to see painted. It might not definitely be the one I do paint, but I will try and do a painting video that includes one of those miniatures at least very soon. If you'd like to help me with that kind of stuff, this is a terrible segue. If you'd like to help me with that, support me via memberships on the channel, which are now just open, but Patreon, which is the bigger one, the very best way of supporting me. There's a link to that in the video description. All the supporters of the channel in that way, they help me financially, which means I can spend more time making content and not just commission painting, which was the main part of my day job with Toy Soldiers. So any help you can give me means I can make more videos, more varied content covering different game systems, and I really appreciate it. So thank you to all my existing patrons. If you can't support me that way, still dropping a comment, giving the video a like is a really fantastic way of doing it, and also checking out the channel sponsor, Counter Attack Bases. But thank you very much for watching. Take care, and I'll catch you soon.